The UFC's Paramount opener, aka UFC 324, just took place this past weekend, and I'm going to be reviewing my picks, giving you my breakdown and my thoughts on the entire card, starting with Adam Fuggett versus Ty Miller. Now, in my prediction and breakdown video, I did not believe that Adam Fuggett was UFC caliber, and my opinion has not changed at all. However, he did make it hard for Ty Miller. He did give him some adversity. It was mostly one-sided, but I believe late in the first or in the second round, Adam Fuggett hit him with a crazy spinning elbow, split Ty Miller's head open, but it still wasn't enough. Ty Miller gritted down, kept throwing, ended up getting the TKO, I believe in the third round. Or was it the first in the first round? Late in the first round. Wow. I want to preface by saying this video is late because I'm not gonna lie, I was not conscious after the fights. Like I was done. I was out. Some things happened, and we had to, let's just say we had to rewatch all the fights. We had to rewatch them all. I did not remember anything from the night. I had to rewatch all the fights. Um, Overall though, back to the card. Good performance by Ty Miller. Solid, solid win. You know, a good way to get yourself introduced to the audience. Next up, Josh Hockett versus Denzel Freeman. Mentally, if I would have picked Denzel Freeman, I would not have been the same. How the fuck do you lose 71-0 on total strikes? And it's not like all these strikes were on the ground either. No, Josh Hockett was mixing it up, looking like prime Colby Covington against Kamaru Usman in their first fight. Like, this was an insane performance. The mic, the mic skills are definitely interesting. I'm liking the whole persona. I knew Josh Hockett was going to be something coming into this weak ass division, and he showed how weak this division was by dismantling Denzel Freeman and literally flipping him off as a final blow. He flipped him off, and that was a critical hit. That was enough to send him down to the mat. So great win from Josh Hockett. I feel bad for anyone that picked Denzel Freeman. They got to start rethinking some things. That's just not a way you can go out. You can't go out by middle finger, bro. That's hey, that's no. Cannot let that happen. Moving on to the prelims. Alex Perez versus Charles Johnson. Now, as a Joshua Vance super fan, I'm torn. Because on one hand, the only person to knock out Joshua Van just got knocked out, so you'd think I should be happy. But that also is it's also like you can knock out Joshua Van, but then you're losing to these other guys. You're getting destroyed in the first round by Alex Perez. This was the most unexpected thing on the card for me. For me personally, I even said coming into this fight, I thought Charles Johnson was around that top 7 to 10 range, or what did I say, 5 to 8? Like I thought he was up there. I thought he was going to be a title contender eventually. A lot of that, most of that being because of his win over Joshua Van. But man, Alex Pereira caught him with the left hook early. Charles Johnson never recovered. He was out on his feet, just trying to survive, and that was it. Insane performance from Alex Perez. I thought he was a little older now. I thought he's had a few injuries. He's had a lot of time off. I didn't think he'd be able to do this, especially to a guy like Charles Johnson, who I believe was one of the best guys in this division. But this is why the sport is so great. You get surprised every time. However, I did get my pick wrong. I had Charles Johnson, I believe, by decision. But good win for Alex Perez. Nikita Krylov versus Modestas Bukauskas. Let me tell you, I'm a dumbass, right? I picked Nikita Krylov, and I specifically said, I just think, even though I believe he's a little bit washed, I don't think Modestas Bukauskas is that good. So I picked Nikita Krylov, but I put money on Modestas. That shit doesn't make sense, does it? It doesn't make fucking sense. And I did it. And I'm not mad because he kept at the time this was going on. There was a TKO streak. Nikita Krylov last second KO TKO. He was winning the entire fight, and Modestas decided he'd go for it in the last few moments of the round, and he paid for it. That's the price he had to pay, especially when you're down like that. What else are you gonna do? You got to go for the win. But overall, solid performance from Nikita Krylov. I would like to see him versus Jamal Hill next. I feel like that'd be a good fight. Give Jamal Hill a chance for a victory. Like at least something. But overall, solid performance. Hard, tough loss from Modestas Bukauskas. This was his ticket into the rankings. A lot of people thought he was going to start Nikita Krylov purely because of how weak Krylov's chin has gotten, but he looked good tonight. And Modestas looked slow. I will say that. Next up, Ateba Gutier versus Andrei Pulayev. I don't think this performance was as bad as a lot of people are saying. And holy shit, these striking numbers. Is that real? Anyway. First 30 seconds of the fight, Gutier drops him. Mean right hand. Honestly, I believe that Gutier being able to show that he can go 3 rounds at a decent pace isn't the worst thing in the world. And I think that's actually positive for his future. Now, a lot of people were saying this was Atomic Bomb versus Coughing Baby. But, Pulayev, good recoverability. He did good to stay in there. He weaseled his way to a decision. And then, that's really all I can say about this fight. Crazy that Ateba Gutier was the one to end the TKO streak. But it's also nice to see that he has his cardio's, it's all right. We haven't seen him go again in a crazy pace or anything, but decent performance from Ateba. Next up, I don't even have much to say about this fight. Disappointing all around. Disappointing from Figgy. Disappointing from Umar. When you are that big of a favorite, and I know, as a fighter, you probably shouldn't look into the odds, but you should be doing more in this fight. You should be at least a little more active. There's not even really much I can speak on this fight. Umar was a step ahead the entire time. He looked faster. He looked bigger. I mean, Figgy landed 8 significant strikes. Wow. Former dominant champion landing 8 significant strikes. That's a yikes. On to the next fight. On to the main card. Arnold Allen versus John Silva. Now, the most autistic fight in UFC history, and that is not a joke. Arnold Allen, I believe, was ahead on the first round. I believe he looked a little bit faster, a little bit sharper. John Silva was... He threw less output than usual in that first round. I think he was really analyzing, trying to decide what he wanted to do. In the second and third rounds, he was a step ahead, landing with the harder shots, getting some takedowns. And at the end of the third round, John Silva gets Arnold Allen to the ground, has him in north-south position, on his knees, jumps on his back. And do y'all know, the singing dolphin? That was John Silva. He jumped off of his back. It was majestic. That's all I can say. It was majestic. It was a magical thing to witness. I'm happy I got to witness that live. I believe that there was some spiritual energy in that jump that he did, because I don't know how he got that high off of Arnold Allen's spine. But overall, this was a great fight. And this is actually probably the best fight of the night up until the main event, which we'll get to later. But I believe good performance from John Silva, decent performance from Arnold Allen. I would like to see Arnold Allen take a step down. He's been fighting killers his past few fights. John Silva, what's next for him? I don't know. I want to see how maybe the loser of Lerone Murphy versus Mazar Evloev. I feel like that'd be a good fight. But John Silva's back. His momentum is back. He aura farmed It went crazy on social media. And so I believe we'll see Jean Silva in a big fight in the coming future. Moving up on the main card, Talia Silva versus Rose Namajunas. You know, very close fight. I could see this going either way. Um, Honestly, I'm not too. I don't really care that much though. Not because it's a WMA fight, but because this fight was just so low output and kind of honestly it was boring until the third round where Natalia Silva started to pick it up, which I believe secured her the fight. But I can also see arguments for Rose in round 1 and 2. I mean, Natalia Silva's next to challenge for the belt. I believe she should have been next after her last fight. This was just cherry on top. I don't think she really needed a crazy performance to get that title shot. That division's kind of empty right now. And she's really the only interesting contender, especially after Wei Lee got dominated the way she did. So yeah, it was a mid performance from both girls. Um, that's all I can really say. On to the next. I Dominican, I know black, I know black, I Dominican. Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Derek Lewis. This is exactly how I thought it was going to go. I thought Waldo was going to be controlling the fight. And I believe I may have said second round TKO for Waldo Cortez Acosta. But I even said in the prediction video, if you go back and look at that, Derek Lewis is going to crumble and lose by TKO. He does this in hard fights. Derek Lewis isn't made for the spotlight. When pressure's on him, he crumbles. I mean, the jab that dropped him did not even really. I mean, listen, I wouldn't want to be hit with that jab, but it didn't look like a punch that should have dropped him the way it did, and it looked like he just stayed on the ground. It looked like he didn't really have the urge to get up. It was honestly very disappointing, but it's better for the division that Waldo wins anyway. New fresh contender, looks really good. 6 fights in 10 months, crazy activity right now, and he's got like 10 kids. He needs to keep fighting. So great win from Waldo. I won't say great win. Good win from Waldo. I mean, awful performance from Derek Lewis. On to the co-main event. Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. Now, first round is probably the closest round. Man, it was a close fight. It's not the fireworks I was expecting, but I did expect Sean O'Malley to control the range, which he did very efficiently in that third round. Second round, I believe that was Song's round due to his control time, the takedowns, mixing it up, and landing good shots on the feet. Also was landing good shots in the first round, but I think O'Malley controlled the range a little bit more. And as Demetrius Johnson would say, took control of that void. And honestly, not the best fight, but I think it's what Sean O'Malley needed to rebound himself. I would like to see Song eventually break through into that top 3 to 4 area. It feels like he's just been the gatekeeper of the top 5 for so long. It's bound to happen for him to break through. I would like to see Song versus Umar if they do give Sean O'Malley the title shot, which I don't believe they should. But if they do, I'd like to see Song versus Umar. I feel like that'd be a great fight. Great style matchup. I feel like Song matches up better against Umar than he does with Sean. Don't kill me for saying that. But I do think Sean is probably the best striker in this division. But I mean, there's nothing more to say about that. It was an alright performance from Sean, alright performance from Song. Just edged it onto the main event. Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett. Man, Paddy looks slow and Gaethje looked good, but the entire time I just couldn't help but think if either of these guys are placed in front of Ilie Topuria, you might as well sign their obituary. Yeah, honestly, I don't even think you should sanction it. Neither of these guys, I believe, are championship caliber, but great fight nonetheless. Absolute war, absolute banger. Paddy Pimblett, Scousers don't get knocked out unless your name is Darren Till. Justin Gaethje, one of the best performances of his career. And I thought the momentum was about to shift in that third round. Patty got dropped in the first 2 rounds, dropped bad in that second round, almost finished with ground and pound. And, Justin Gaethje's grappling surprised me. I've never seen him grapple this much in a fight, but Patty just refused. Not refused, but maybe he got hurt with something coming in for a takedown and just didn't want to use his grappling for the rest of the fight, but he didn't look awful on the feet. But I think in saying that, I'm also saying that Justin Gaethje didn't look phenomenal either. It's like it was a great performance, but this should not have been a title fight. Fight night main event, co-main event, phenomenal fight either way. Fight of the year so far. Obviously, it's the first event, but I feel like that will hold true through the next coming months. Fifth round. We'll skip to the fifth round. Patty starts to get his momentum back. He's still fighting, throwing flurries. But overall, Justin was just cracking him with the harder shots. Really, really putting a beating on Patty Pimblett. And coming into the fight, Patty was talking about how Justin's face would look unrecognizable and his would not change at all. Quite the opposite happened. Justin took some damage, but he did not look like Patty. Not at all. But great performance from Justin Gaethje. Patty Pimblett showed he's extremely tough. I believe he'll be back. I don't believe he'll ever reach that title, but I'd love to be surprised. And I also believe Justin Gaethje's going to get sparked by Ilia Topuria in less than 2 minutes. That's my breakdown of UFC 324. I'll see y'all later.